Tip Tuesday to everybody out there. I am Jenn Malecha, your host for today's show, business mentor for the functional diagnostic nutrition community. And here on this show every week is where we share with you the top tips and best practices for health coaches in the industry. And I am so excited to be here talking to you today about why lab testing is basically so critical to making a career change and how it's actually helped me make a career change too. Lab testing has been so key in helping me to get out of the corporate world where I worked in fitness and in corporate wellness and into being a full-time functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner or health coach. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about my story today. So I'm excited to be here filling in for Piper Gibson, who normally hosts our shows. You're actually going to see in the coming weeks some different hosts coming on our Facebook Lives so that you can meet some more of our community members and our staff and get the inspiration and resources that you need to be a successful health coach or health professional. Now, if you are watching right now live with us either on our Facebook page or on our YouTube page, I would love to know where you're currently at as a functional health coach or health professional. Are you maybe currently looking to make a career change? Maybe you actually haven't made the leap yet. Or are you actually in business already, potentially, and you're looking for additional tools and resources to help you grow and expand in your business? Or maybe you're an existing health coach that is just looking for additional resources and education. So if you're on live with us, please let me know in the chat where exactly you are in your health coaching or health professional process or journey right now, because that'll help me to provide you with information today that is going to help you take those next steps. So I see Shirley here hasn't made the leap yet. And Shirley, I 100% know what that feels like. Before I made the leap, it's kind of scary and overwhelming. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about that today. And to help you out, no matter where you are in your process or your journey right now as a health coach or health professionals, we wanted to provide you with a free resource today. If you guys go ahead and drop the word career below the video, you're automatically and instantly going to get access to our 10 tips and tools for an online coaching business, which can be so helpful in the world that we're living in right now today, right? So everything has gone online and is virtual in this pandemic life that we're living. And even when we move past this whole thing, we'll probably see a lot more people taking advantage of virtual and online businesses. So let's dive in to this topic of why it has been, why functional lab testing is the key to making a career change, as I said that it was for me. And Shirley and anybody else that's watching, definitely, like I said, jump in and ask questions along the way. I'm here to answer them for you for the next 25 minutes while we do this live show here. So a little bit of about my journey, just to share with you, to kind of give you some background on how functional lab testing has been the key to making a career change for myself, is that, as I kind of mentioned a few minutes ago, I was, working in the fitness industry for a long time. So I had a degree in kinesiology, which is the study of fitness, nutrition, and health. Branched out from college, started working for, big box gyms like 24-Hour Fitness as a personal trainer and a manager over there. And then I decided that I wanted to have a bigger, impact on people's health. And also I was kind of tired of working in a high stress sales environment. So I essentially decided to get into corporate wellness because I thought that, yes, I'm going to work, with employers. I'm going to work with these employees, and I'm going to, help them to implement these healthy or health programs that are going to help their employee population. And so I jumped in. I actually helped to get 2 startup wellness companies going, and it was great work at first, but I really wanted to work with people more on a fulfilling level, like on a one-on-one level, and help them get even better results. Because even in doing corporate wellness and in personal training, what I was recognizing is that people needed more personalized health building programs, and that some of the standard general recommendations of diet and health things that we were talking about just wasn't working for, everybody necessarily. And Tammy, I see you on here saying that you just started my own business. Keeping folks motivated will be the key. Awesome. Yes, it will be. And so, as I evolved through this journey, I was actually struggling with my own health too. So I would love to know, for those of you that are listening or watching, like, is one of the things that motivated you to get into being a health coach or a health professional part of your own personal health journey, struggling with your own things that you wanted to resolve. And in turn, you wanted to help other people, because that's exactly how I was feeling. Like I was watching my health kind of slowly decline, and I was searching for answers in all of the, typical places, I'll say, like on Google, and following, some of the biggest influencers online and reading health books and things like that. But I wasn't really finding the big picture as to, what was going on with my health and how I could help other people. Not until I found basically Reed Davis, who is our founder of FDN. I landed on a webinar that he was doing, and I instantly felt like the light bulb just turned on. It was like everything that Reed was saying was making sense. Now, mind you, I had a degree in kinesiology. I studied physiology and biology and all of these other things. And when I heard Reed talk about health and this new way of looking at disease, it was like all of the missing pieces to the puzzles finally started to fall into place. And he was talking about the physiological aspects of the body in a way that I had never heard anybody else talk about it before. And this is going to be important for how we actually help clients and how we make a career change, is what I'm getting to essentially. And remember, if you want our 10 tips and tools for creating an online coaching business, make sure to drop the word career below to get even more information to help you get into this field in this industry that so many people are, because so many people are needing health coaches and health professionals like us right now. So I hear Reed talking on this webinar, and I was just amazed at what he had to share in this new way of looking at disease and the physiological aspects. And he starts talking about this functional lab testing. And I had never heard about these functional lab tests before. They are not your typical blood tests. It's things like saliva, stool, urine-based testing that actually looks at the different systems of the body and how they're working or how they're not working. And I was like totally mesmerized by what Reed was saying. And so I was like, I have to do this program. This is, I want to be able to help people on a deeper level, like Reed's talking about, and I want to be able to help myself on a deeper level as well too. So I immediately, jumped into the FDN certification program, and I was blown away, you guys, at what I was learning as I was going through this training. One, it was super awesome that through the training, I got to do some of the lab tests that Reed was talking about on myself. So I actually got to go through that transformative process to see how functional lab testing could make a direct impact on me as if I was a client, and get to experience what my clients, would be going through, which then in turn helped me as a coach and helped me as a practitioner. When I got out there to run my business, it helped me to communicate and talk about, what my clients could be experiencing to build the value in what it is that I essentially had to offer. So being able to confidently and clearly communicate those things is one of the things that's going to help you make this change in your career. Why it's the key, to making a career change is when you physically go through the process yourself, you become an expert. It's kind of like that concept of, when your friends or your family members come to you and they say, oh my God, I tried this amazing service or product, there's instantly rapport or trust built in that service or product because of the experience that they're saying that they had. That's a testimonial of sorts that's happening, right? So as you go through the FDN certification training, you get to experience this firsthand as if you were a client, which then becomes that key to making a career out of becoming a functional diagnostic health coach or practitioner, is that we can clearly speak to these things. And on top of that, you get to work on improving your own health. So for those of you, like I see, Shirley, you're saying you were inspired by your own personal health journey. I'm sure Tammy was too, and some other people that are watching us. One of the things that happens to us when we get out there to make this career change, and Shirley, you might be experiencing this right now, which is what's holding you back, because it held me back for some time too, is like, well, who am I to help anybody if I haven't fixed myself yet? Right? How am I supposed to help somebody else get better if I haven't fixed myself yet? But by going through the FDN certification process and doing the functional lab testing on myself, it gave me the confidence that I could help somebody else, because I was working on my health. I was seeing changes in my body. And while I may not have healed myself completely before I started taking clients, I was making progress that I could then communicate towards them as well, to them as well too, right? So again, being able to do this functional lab testing helps us to grow our confidence in so many different kinds of ways to make a successful career out of doing this work, right? So then you graduate the FDN training program. And here's where functional lab testing is, again, a key to making that career change. Is what we're seeing now is that the health coaching industry right now specifically is growing rapidly. Now, when I became a health coach back in 2013, the industry wasn't at this level, but we're seeing, like I said earlier, a higher demand for people who want personalized solutions. They want to be working with health coaches because they're not getting answers through the traditional ways of, work health resources, how they work through the conventional medical system or whatever else it is that they're trying. Even if they're reading the latest and greatest books from all the top experts, they still need somebody to help them siphon through that information, and to be a guide and to do some of the lab testing with them, right, to get the results that they're looking for. So we're seeing this, the health coaching industry is growing expansively right now. We're seeing a higher demand of people who want health coaches. So you have to ask yourself, if I'm going to make this leap, so surely for you, like if you're going to make this leap, what is going to differentiate you from the rest of the health coaches out there? And that was something that was important to me. I didn't just want to be a general health coach, and general health coaches serve a very good place in the world. I do not mean that to be negative or disrespectful to any of our health coaches that are out there. But I think that there is also a specific need or for calling for health coaches that can go a little bit deeper with people, that next level, or for health practitioners that can go a little bit deeper with people. And that's what the functional lab testing does, right? So, in the marketplace, there's a demand and a need for every type of health coach and health practitioner that's out there. Some people, based on where they are with their health, they can work with a general health coach. They can work on things like diet and rest and exercise without lab testing. And based on where their health is, they could probably get to their goals. But there's also a large sector of people where the general recommendations of diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, the concept of positive psychology don't necessarily meet their needs. So that is one of the biggest ways that functional lab testing helps you to make a career change, is that it's going to give you this credibility. It's going to give you this platform to stand on to help people on a deeper level so that you can actually meet your clients' expectations. Because in a lot of ways, if we're not running functional lab testing, then we're not meeting our clients' expectations and our needs and their needs, because we can't provide them with all the answers to their health questions and all the pieces of the puzzle that they actually need to get better, right? And this was the exact struggle that I was having in my personal health before I found FDN. And I'm sure, some of you too can relate to this, that you may be struggling with your own health as the same time while you're trying to pursue a career in this industry. And the functional lab testing is where we can get objective data and these pieces of the health puzzle that will help us to solve, what is going on, right? So when we have functional lab testing, it helps us to look at the whole person. Now, I've worked with hundreds of clients at this point in time, and I can tell you that 9 out of 10 times, most times clients come to me and they say, I feel like nobody's listening to me, or I feel like my doctors or other health practitioners that I've worked with, they just aren't, looking at me as a whole person. They're not looking at the bigger picture. I'm asking them to run these labs and they're not doing it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when we are using functional lab testing, we are looking at the whole person or the whole picture. And actually, what we're doing is something very unique as functional diagnostic nutrition practitioners, particularly. We are assessing something that we call metabolic chaos. And if you've ever heard Reed Davis speak about this, Reed says that metabolic chaos is the only one true diagnosis, because we may actually never know what the root cause is. This whole concept about, identifying the root cause is kind of a myth in some ways, because every single system of the body is connected. It's kind of like that age-old saying, that old adage of what came first, the chicken or the egg. That the adrenal dysfunction come first or the thyroid dysfunction come first. We may never know what came first, but we know that we can have a positive effect upon it when we run functional lab testing and we identify all of the healing opportunities and we look at the whole person, and then we utilize that data and that information to guide our recommendations for diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation. And I just want to say, I see your guys' questions on here. Hang on with me. I'm kind of on a roll. I'm going to get to your questions here in just a moment. So I see Kim and Shirley and stuff like that. So I'm going to get to your questions. So this is where, when we assess metabolic chaos, we are seeing this bigger picture of what's going on with a person, and we can make more personalized, guided recommendations towards diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation and toxin removal, which means that we are creating a more personalized plan than typically the general health practitioner or the general health coach, right? When we're running these types of functional lab testing. So when you have these tools under your tool belt, you now are setting yourself apart from the rest of the pack, from the rest of the industry out there. So you have something unique to offer that most other people don't have to offer, which again helps you to build your confidence in creating a career and building your business out of being a functional health practitioner or coach in a lot of different ways. And it also helps to grow and build that credibility that you have as a functional health practitioner or a functional health coach. Because, a lot of times, again, like either you yourself have probably experienced this or you've heard your clients say this, because I know that my clients have said this, is that they've seen multiple health practitioners themselves. I went to multiple health practitioners myself, acupuncturists, massage therapists, different types of, endocrinologists and specialists, trying to figure out what was going on with my health, and my clients experienced the same exact thing. And yet they aren't ultimately getting better, right? So the functional lab testing has been so critical in helping me help other people actually get better, and even helping myself get better too. So then what happens from that? Well, then our clients, when they're getting these kind of amazing results, because with functional health or functional lab testing, they ultimately are basically going to get results faster, better, and easier, because we're using this objective data to guide recommendations. When they are experiencing that, they are now going to tell all of their other friends and family about you, which is going to start to create a referral-based practice for you. Now, if you guys are familiar with my brand at all, I'm the Holistic Health Boss as my health coaching brand, and then I'm a business mentor here for the FDN community, like I mentioned before. I have an online presence, I have social media, I have a website, I have all those things, but I have to tell you that 95% of my business is word of mouth referral, because of the experience and the transformation that I'm able to provide somebody, with these functional lab tests that we're able to use. So Shirley, this is for you right here. I want you to listen to this. When I finally decided to make the leap, and I decided that I was going to be a full-time FDN practitioner, health coach, and I put in my notice at my full-time job, at my corporate wellness job. When I decided to finally make the leap and do that, I'll tell you that first year I matched my income that I was making in my corporate job. So I actually, that first year, made approximately $75,000 as a health coach, working full time, doing what I love. Actually, I wasn't even really working full time because I only wanted to work 20 hours a week, but doing something that I was incredibly passionate about, helping people one-on-one to get the results that they were actually really looking for. And the functional lab testing was a key component in being able to help myself and help them do that ultimately. Then, as my business grew year over year, then I saw a 30% increase in my revenue or my income every single year thereafterwards, right? To eventually the point where now I've created a hugely successful practice, making multiple six figures, helping hundreds of people get better and stay better, because the functional lab testing gave us the insights and the clues that we needed in order to actually identify a person's healing opportunities, to create a personalized health building program for them so that they could get the results that they desire. And I'm living proof of this too, because it's helped me do exactly the same thing. So again, if you guys want the 10 tips and tools for an online coaching business, go ahead and drop the word career below this video. We'll get that to you right away. I see some questions in here that I want to make sure that we answer, but I hope that this is giving you some insights into the possibility that you have, and how functional lab testing is the key to making that career change. So whether you are like Shirley, like you haven't made the leap necessarily yet, you're thinking about it, these functional lab testing, having this kind of training under your belt is definitely going to help you build that confidence and help you have the tools in order to do that, to create, amazing transformation and experiences with clients. It's going to result in, effortless referrals to help you build that business and replace, your corporate job or whatever you're doing now. Whether you're a current health coach, right? That's, some of you might be currently health coaching, have a little hustle on the side, but you're running other jobs because you're not making enough in your health coaching business. Functional lab testing is the key to helping you get to that level. So this can be your full-time job. And for those of you out there that might be like a licensed health professional, like a chiropractor, I would say that this is also key as well, because it helps you to establish a cash-based practice, to offer additional resources and tools for your clients so that you can help them get more results faster, quicker, and easier as well, and ultimately solve their problems. So again, drop that word career below the video if you want our 10 tips and tools for an online coaching business. I see a couple of you commenting here. Let me get to some questions. So Tammy, this is great. Tammy says, doing my FDN was the best decision I ever made. Me too, Tammy. When I enrolled in the FDN training and certification course, I said, I wanted being an FDN to be the last career that I would ever have. And here I am 8 years later, and it's still my career, and I absolutely love it. Tierney is asking, can we sit for the board exam? I know not all programs are approved. And yes, Tierney, when you complete your FDN certification program, there's actually multiple board certifications that you can sit for. If you go to our website, functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com, on that homepage and scroll down, you'll actually see a full list of all of the board certifications that we qualify for as FDN practitioners ourselves. I want to say that there's 4 or 5 of them, Gemma being one of them, which makes you a licensed wellness practitioner. We also have like a certification for wellness coaches. We have the AADP. So definitely go to our homepage and check that out as well too, or our team can drop the link and information in here about those board certifications as well. Shirley is in agreement with a lot of the things that I said. Kim is saying, I've been looking at this program for a while. Can you talk about the weekly time commitment and overall time commitment? And this is a great question, Kim, especially for those of you that are, currently working full time or maybe homeschooling kids full time, to give you some insights into this. So like I mentioned, when I enrolled in FDN, I was working a full-time job. I was working in corporate wellness. I was also dealing with brain fog and fatigue and health struggles, right? And so the really great thing about FDN is that you can enroll at any time, and it's 100% self-paced. So that means that you can move along at whatever pace, fast or slow or moderate, is right for you. And that was really helpful for me, because it like lifted that sense of urgency, that deadline that I had to, complete it in a short time frame. Overall, you have 12 months to complete the FDN course. And if something happens, life gets in the way, you can always request an extension. But on average, it takes our students approximately 5 to 6 months to complete the course, which was actually true for me too. So in this place where I was working full time, I was dealing with some brain fog and fatigue. My bandwidth for studying was only about 3 to 5 hours per week. So with that commitment of 3 to 5 hours per week, I was able to get through the course in about 5.5 months. Now, another kind of perspective on this is that my personal trainer, he also ended up going through the course, and he committed to studying on Sundays for 6 to 8 hours. And he got through the course in 2.5 months. I know other people who actually have gotten through the course in a week as well too. So that's the beauty of it being self-paced, is that you can really, move through it at a pace that works up well for you. And I would say, if you can, at a minimum, commit 3 to 5 hours per week, that would be a really good pace to try and stay on track on. So for me, that was like I would get done with work, on Wednesday. Wednesdays were my study days. I would get done with work around 5 or 6. I would try to put in an hour or two of studying. And then on the weekends, I would put in a couple more hours along with that. The course is very interactive for you also, Kim. You will go through case studies. Through there's quizzes, there's practicals that you do. We really emphasize, this is another thing that really helps you go out and launch your business afterwards, is that through the FDN training, we really emphasize that you comprehend the content, that you feel confident in the content as well too, which is why we have all these practical exercises. You actually get assigned a mentor. So as I said, you do some of the lab testing on yourself, so that one, you can work on your own health as you're going through the course, and two, so that you can have that real experience of what a client is going through, and three, because that practical application piece helps you to, just retain the information and understand, the methodology basically. And you get assigned a mentor that will work with you on your personal lab test results and develop a health building protocol for you based on those lab test results too. So we have just a couple minutes, you guys. If you have any other questions, please feel free to drop them below. Kim, I think I also answered your question here about the time frame, that you have a year long to complete the program from the day that you enroll, but if life gets in the way, you can certainly request an extension. With that, if you guys want our 10 tips and tools for online health coaching business, drop the word career below the video. And I would love to know, if you liked this topic, would you like to hear more about the functional lab testing and building your career? When we do these Health Coach Tip Tuesdays, you can also, put suggestions in here for topics that you would like us to see. As I said in the beginning, we do Health Coach Tip Tuesday like this every single Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Central time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time. And our goal here is to give you, the best tips, best practices, tools, and resources to help you become a successful functional health coach or practitioner. So everybody's saying it looks like, yes, this was a great topic, you guys. I will actually be your host for the next couple of weeks. I've got some great guests lined up for the rest of the month. We have Jennifer Woodward coming on next week to talk about how functional lab testing increases your credibility. Then we'll have Reed Davis on at the end of the month for us too. And last question that I'll answer here, Kim is asking, is there a list of the exact labs that are covered in the program? And Kim, yes, we do have some very exact labs that we cover in the program. We cover lab tests to go over hormones, immune, digestion, detoxification, nervous, and energy systems in there. So things like a saliva hormone cortisol panel. We also go over Diagnostic Solutions GI map for a stool sample test. We go over food sensitivity testing in there as well. We go over intestinal permeability testing, metabolic typing. So we have some core tests that are covered in the training. And then once you become a certified functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, you will have access to over 60 different lab tests that we have available through our medical director program, which is one of the ways that us as health coaches, unlicensed practitioners, are able to legally and ethically access lab testing for our clients. So That wraps it up, you guys, for time today. Keep dropping your questions. Our team will be monitoring the questions in the videos. Drop the word career again if you want to get our 10 tips and tools for an online coaching business. I will see you here back again next week, same time, same place.